will be Mr. Tam Kwok. Mr. Kwok serves as the president of Mondo America Corporation. He will discuss strategies in overcoming cultural conflicts between local communities and employees. As a Korean American with U.S. citizenship, Mr. Kwok has the ability to see conflicts from both perspectives, Korean and American. Please welcome Mr. Kwok.
I wish I had one of those moves. It would make my job a lot easier. The Mondo was asked to talk about how to overcome conflict or improve relationships between employees and the community with the company. We turned it down. We said we were good because we really don't know if we're better than anybody else, or we don't know if we're doing good or not. There's many other companies who are probably doing many more good things than us. And there probably are companies that are not doing so many things. So we really didn't want to do it. But the organizer, I won't point fingers, but the person is here right now. He says you have no choice. You have to do it. And we said, why? And he also said, because you're different. Now, after this, I need to talk to Mr. Supla in lingo to see if that's discrimination. I think it is. Are we different? I don't know. I mean, am I different? I don't know. I think that's why we have issues, and that's why we have difficulty in dealing with a lot of things. We don't have a movie put together. We don't have any material put together, but I think we'll just talk about what we have done. Now, whether it works or not, I don't know. I mean, it worked for us. So anytime you buy a product, there's a warning, right? Use it at your own risk. You could have side effects of this and that and that. So don't do what I said we did, because you may have bad effects from it. But anyways, if you look at the previous speaker, Mr. Kim from SKC, they've been here for 7 years. So they probably went through everything that we are going through. They have overcome a lot of these issues. A lot of us, other companies are still experiencing it. And some are pretty new, so they're just starting to see the difficult issues or situations that we face every day. And also when you heard attorneys, Mr. Langer and Supla talk about some of these things that we can't do, yet still we have to do the job. I think everybody here has to agree that manufacturing business, especially running a manufacturing operation in America, is not an easy thing to do. I think everybody has to agree that we all have a very tough job, tougher yet, because we are companies from Korea who came here with the practices and mindsets from Korea. They came to U.S. and trying to run a company, a startup company, and trying to get good results. Obviously, it's a lot harder than a typical American starting a company. So it's a tough job, and it's everybody here. I know everybody here, and we see each other, and we play golf together. So it's kind of awkward to talk about what we do, but still, since I was asked, we will talk about some things anyways. So thank you for having us. Some of the things that Mondo has done, you may not like it. I know our headquarters doesn't like some of the things that we have done, but it's working for us. If you, MCA, Mondo Corporation in America, most of you know it, but some of you don't. So I'll tell you briefly about what we do and where we're at. We started our manufacturing operation in July in 2004. At the time, our sales was about $50 million a year. When I joined the company in 2006, our sales was about $100 million. And this year, we expect to have about $960 million in sales. So if you look at over the last 7 years, we grew a lot. We grew 9 times or 10 times. So we went through a lot of changes to be able to start a company, to be be able to deal with the difficult demands from family and here. They are very difficult and demanding. So to try to keep them satisfied. And also deal with the GM and Chrysler, which has a different way of doing things. And also dealing with the conflict that we all talked about, Korean way of doing things and American way of doing things. So we grew a lot, we went through a lot of difficult times, but I think we can see about three big key points that we went through. One is when I first came to Middle America, there was a lot of Koreans only meetings going on. And I think everybody here knows that. Now, is it good or bad? Well, it's not good or it's not bad. It's neither, right? If you need to have a meeting with Koreans, you have to have a meeting with Koreans. But the problem is, American people that work in the company doesn't think there's not a meeting because they think that all the decisions in the company are being made amongst Koreans only. Now, that may not be the case, but that's what a lot of the employees were thinking. And sometimes, we caught people standing outside the meeting, trying to hear what we're talking about or what's going on. And also, we had a lot of meetings where there were American staffs present, but we were conducting the meeting in Korean. And I know we still do that. A lot of companies here still does that. And to do that, I guess could be okay, but if you got different people in there, it's not productive. And it gives wrong feelings to people. So first thing we did is we made sure that we let all the management know that when we have certain meetings, we invited certain people who had something to do with that subject. So everybody knew what meeting was happening, whether there were only Koreans in there, or Koreans and Americans in there, or just Americans in there. So that was open to everybody. So everybody knew what kind of meetings we were having. The other thing is if there's at least one person who didn't speak Korean, obviously we did not speak Korean in meetings. Now we had to say things in Korean and English both sometimes because there were some Koreans who didn't speak English well. So it was a lot more difficult and time consuming, but still we had to do that. So that was the first thing we did. And when we did that, I think some of the trust issues that we had started to change. And then the other thing I saw was there were a handful of, expats or FSCs, as we call them, that came from Korea to work in MCA that was doing everything. Basically, one person is taking over purchasing, material control, production control, and then another guy is doing maintenance, production engineering. So one FSC or one expat was doing multiple things and making all the decisions. And obviously they can't cover it. They work hard, but they can't cover it. So one of the first things we've done is to hire managers for all the departments that we have. And make sure that we hire the people that I trusted, that I feel comfortable with. And when we did that, obviously we saw some change, but still we were not making money. We were still losing money. And a lot of the companies here probably lost money or still losing money. And in 2008, after we had our management team in place, we thought we were going to make some profit that year for the first time. But as you remember, at the end of 2008 and beginning of 2009, the auto industry in North America or globally went down the drain. So if you look at our sales, 60% of our sales is to General Motors. And about 36% of our sales is to Hyundai and Kia. And the rest of it is to Chrysler. So in 2008, we thought we were going to make profit for the first time. That's when the material costs went up. Customers were not compensating us for it, so we had to eat it. And then at the beginning of 2009, we thought this would be the first year that we're going to make some profit. And everybody, including hourly salaries, Koreans, Americans, they were all excited about it. But came January, GM shut down most of their plants. So basically, we were running at only about 1/7 of our capacity at the beginning of 2009. So we had to lay off people, which is something that I had never done before. But I think by communicating with the employees and letting them know where we're at, and letting everybody know that this is something that we have to go through, and go through the proper process so we are not discriminating or playing favoritism, picking one person versus another to lay off. And it was clear to everybody, transparent. So everybody took it, and we even had some employees who said they would bring their lawnmower and they would cut our grass. And some employees came to us and said, I'll clean the bathroom. So by going through that difficulty, I think there was a connection that got made between our employees, hourlies, black, white, Koreans, salary people, everybody. So as things got better, GM came out of bankruptcy and Chrysler came out of bankruptcy. Sales picked up again, and by September, we were making money again because the volume was up. So we brought back all the people that were laid off, and everybody in the company was ecstatic. And that was a second big turning point for our company, where we were able to see the common goal, and we started to feel like team, one team, and more like a family rather than just acquaintances who happen to work at the same place. And then if you look at the third point, is in 2010, after going through all that, 2009 obviously, because the 60% of the year the sales was down, so we couldn't make profits. So 2010 was the first year that we did make some profit. And we shared it with all our employees. And throughout the whole year, we let everybody know where we were at. And everybody wanted to work for a company that made profit because, as our chairman always tells us, that a person who runs a company who doesn't make money are just like criminals. And so it was very important for us that we did make profit. So we did that in 2010. And then again, that was the third big turning point where everybody felt like what we did has worked. What we did is working. So if you look at those three big points, that those are some of the, experiences and some of the bonding situations that we went through. And I feel that by going through those phases, we have become a closer, our employees have become the relationship has become a lot closer than it would have been otherwise. And the person or somebody in our company said, if you're going to talk about an employee relationship or a community relationship, you got to also talk about what are some of the things we do for American employees, and then what are some of the things we do for Korean employees. They think the person told me I should talk about that. Well, we don't do anything different for Korean employees or American employees. Some may do, but I don't. I do the same thing to American employees as well as Korean employees. I do the same thing to black employees versus Filipino. Maybe it's good and bad both. I don't see the difference. A lot of us think that, I don't think I'm going to say this. Anyway, so we don't do anything different for a specific group of people because, to me, it's just not right. We all decided to come work for our company, Mando America, and once we made the choice to come to work for Mando America, to me, they are all same people. They are all same color. They are all same race. I don't really care. So then, if I'm not going to talk about what do we do differently for American employees or Korean employees, then what should I talk about? And I guess it should be something that, what do we do with all our employees? What are some of the things that are key points that we have to practice and keep in mind? And I wrote some of those things down. And these are basic things, common sense, I guess, I don't know, just the, real life things. And you guys probably all know it, and I'm sure you know it. And I'm sure you practice some of it, and I'm sure you want to, but you are not allowed to on some of it. But I'm going to go through the list and tell you what we think is important to us, and what are some of the things that we use as a basis to come up with our employee handbook and rules and guidelines for the employees. First thing is don't look down on people. I have a job. Just because I'm president of the company, I should not look down on people who's cleaning up the trash on our yard. No. It just so happens that I have a different role than the other. If they don't do their part, we will have trash all over the place. That means I gotta do it. And, I'm sure nobody here wants to get treated bad, right? So if you don't want to get treated bad, then you shouldn't treat other people bad. That's what I preach to our people all the time. And then have clear rules. Whenever you've got a group of people, people come from all different backgrounds. Even if you don't talk about Koreans and Americans, and you only talk about Americans, there are a lot of Americans who have different backgrounds. And a lot of Americans with different beliefs and a different set of cultures. I grew up in North, I come down South, and things are different. It doesn't mean we're not North Americans. So there's different ways of doing things, but when you get a group of people with a different background together, unless you have clear rules, a lot of times you're going to have problems. So one thing that we do is we make sure that we have very clear and concise rules. And we make sure that everybody follows it, not just some people. And then the other thing is when management talks to our hourly or other salaried people, employees, we try to make sure that we say what you mean and mean what you say. Don't say something if you don't mean it. I know in Korea, nunchi is very important. And Koreans are very fast at nunchi. So you don't have to exactly say what you mean, but you expect your people to know what you want and do it, right? But in America, it doesn't work that way. There may be some people like that. You have to tell them what you mean, and you have to say it. Don't just think it, you got to say it. And in 2009, after we laid people off, after GM and Chrysler came out of bankruptcy, and we started to pick up, and we had to step up our production capacity, and we had an employee meeting, and I'm rolling out all these things that we need to do. One of the hourly employees, says, raises his hand and says, "Man, you talk the talk, but can you walk the talk?" And basically what he's asking is, yeah, you're saying good things, but are you really going to do what you're saying? So my answer was, I'm going to walk the talk, but are you? We were coming out of a downturn and starting to pick up, and we need to make sure that we were on the same page so we can start making some money. So again, you got to say what you mean, and you got to mean what you say. And if you're not going to do it, don't say it. And then the other thing is, we always have to put ourselves in the other situation. I'm sure we do it in Korea, and we think the same thing here. And then I think the other key thing is, you saw in the SKC video, VP of Operations. He was an American, right? Well, I guess I'm an American. But there are a lot of CEOs here who are Korean, born, raised, trained, and that are here on a temporary assignment. Koreans are very proud people. So They don't want to do things different than the way they're used to do things. But I think we have to accept and realize that there's many ways to get something done, right? And we don't have to do everything ourselves. We have to find people who are capable of doing things. So one of the points that we did and we are continuing to do is find capable managers and let them do their job. And once you appoint somebody as a manager, we need to trust that person. We can't micromanage that person. And you can't constantly see if he's doing the right thing or not. I mean, people here have experiences. People here are capable. So as long as you hire a person that you trust, you gotta let them do your job. And also, we have to, or what we did is we let our managers build their own teams. Meaning, I didn't take Jim to be a manager of a production department and then put people that I know under him so I can keep an eye on them. I didn't do that. I let him build a team. And the other thing is, many times we do this, and in Mando we do the same thing, where I'm a little different than other Mando executives. So when headquarters has a question about us, instead of calling me, they call somebody else that they're used to talking to. They do it all the time. And I think that is, it's not right. But they do it. And I can't change the way they do things in Korea, but at least I can change the way we do things here. So I don't do that in our company. I mean, if I have a problem with a quality manager, if I have a problem with a material control manager, I don't go to a production manager and ask him what happens over there. I go directly to the department manager who has a problem and talk to him. And I think that's, we need to do that. And then, I guess last point that we practice or try to practice is we have to accept the fact that Koreans and Americans are different. We're not same. We're different. We have to accept it. A lot of us don't want to accept it. A lot of us wants to make it same. I mean, look at what happened in Korea when Japan took over. Japan was trying to make Korea be like that. It didn't work, did it? It didn't work for a lot of these other companies. I mean, we have to accept the fact that it's different. Yet we can still work together. And you can still trust somebody that's different than you. So, we have to accept that Koreans and Americans are different. I mean, we look different. We talk different. We eat different food. We drink different things. We like different sports. Golf, everybody likes it. But the point is, one is not necessarily better than the other. I mean, that's something that I always try to talk to our people, is that one's not better. I mean, one's different, but not better. There are pros and cons, in the way the Koreans do things. There's pros and cons in the way the Americans do it. And we should not try to force one culture on the other. A lot of companies do that. I know our company tries to do that, meaning try to force Korean culture onto American workers. Why? I mean, they came to our company to work. They didn't come to our company to become Korean. But to some Korean executives, they think they need to convert everybody that works in their company to think like that. I don't think we have to think the same way. So we shouldn't force one culture onto another. It's going to take time, but we need to make events and stages to expose each other's culture to the other and let it become your own culture separately. It'll take time, but that's going to be the strongest culture that we can make, is let the American culture, let the Korean culture, let them get together, mingle on their own, and make your own culture. For instance, for Mando America, we want to make Mando America culture. It may be different than American culture, it It may be different than Korean culture, but as long as it works for us, that's all that matters. And you know, there's talking about, I guess, how to work with the employees of people with different cultures. I mean, there's a saying in America, it says there's more than one way to skin a cat. And there is. You know, Korean way is not the only way that works. And American way is not the only way that works. There's many ways. And a lot of times we as CEOs or executives, you know, we tell somebody, I want you to get this done, meaning go from here to here. If we stop there, if you got people you trust, you can stop there. And you can add one more thing, I want you to get from here to here with these rules. Instead, we tell them, I want you to get from here to here, but I want you to go here and here and here and here and here to get here. Well, I don't like it when my boss does that to me. I want to be able to use my own ingenuity, my own ideas to get from beginning to end. And as long as the result is good, then what difference does it make if I didn't break any rules? And that's the way I try to manage my managers. And like I said before, you know, some of the things I do that headquarters don't really like, but that's the way it is. And as far as what do we do externally, I mean, obviously like SKC and everybody else does, you know, we donate to local communities. We donated to Opelika Sportsplex and also Auburn University Engineering Scholarship, equipment donation to local high schools, and attending and participating in local community events. You know, I've been to several local events every year, and I've been going to Opelika Chamber of Commerce events for the past 7 years. And I don't see any other Korean companies that come to those. I mean, how do you expect to become part of the community if you don't participate in those? You know, I don't understand. You know, they ask me the same thing. How come you're the only Korean company that comes to this? I can't answer. I think maybe because those events are during the weekdays, and one of us went golfing on a weekday, maybe the customers see it and they get upset. But the thing is, it's a community event. It's not, we're not going there to play. We're going there to work for our company and for the community. So we should participate in those events. A lot of us only go to events that is organized by a Korean community or a Korean associates. We shouldn't do that. I mean, we should try to attend other community events, even if it's not organized by Koreans. And that's how you build a relationship with local community. The public relationships, it sounds PR, it sounds grand and good. I don't think it is. I think it comes from just dealing with each other and seeing each other and talking with each other and doing things together. And that's ultimately, to me, what builds public relationship. And one thing that we did for a community that stands out is Meriwether County. We have assembly plant in Opelika, and then we also have a warehouse and distribution center in Opelika. We built a plant in Meriwether County, Georgia, last year, and we are just now completing second plant in Georgia. We are doing a trial next week. But when we decided to locate our second or third and fourth manufacturing facility in Georgia, in Meriwether County, it was kind of hard to deal with them at the beginning. But after deciding to build there, we started looking more into what Meriwether County is about. And I went to Meriwether County Courthouse, and I asked I think he is a special assistant to the commission chairwoman. How come your courthouse is, the paint's peeling off? You see bare wood and you see a lot of things that need to be repaired. And he says, well, we'd like to get it painted. The courthouse was built in 18-something, and we'd like to get it painted, but we don't have any money. And he left it at that. So I came back and I started talking with our people. And look at the incentives that Meriwether County gave us. And looking at what they cannot do for themselves on their own property. To me, getting this much from somebody who's got this much versus getting this much from somebody who's got this much, there's a big difference. So we really felt the county gave us more than they can give to locate our company in their county. So we felt, I guess, very grateful and somewhat obligated. So we decided to paint their courthouse for them. And it looks great. I think they, not only the commission, but the people in the county very much appreciate it. So every time we go by there now, I see fresh paint instead of flaking paint. So, these are some of the things what we've done for the community. And I'm proud of our company. I'm proud of the things that we have done. And we still have a lot of things to do. I think Mondo as a whole is trying to become global, which means I know that our chairman is trying to change the way we've been doing things so we can become a successful global company. And part of it is accepting what we are doing here that's different than the way they do things in Korea. And again, to me, there is no Korean, there is no American, there is no black, there is no white. We're all people. As long as you're doing your part, I'm happy. Thank you. Any questions? Okay, thank you.